Season 2, Episode 14 and a half of a sports podcast, and this time I know I am you. And that is Ricky. And this
Right.
is Sports Podcast Ricky.
Are we really episode 14 and a half? Feels like we've been on 14 and a half for 5 straight weeks now.
Yeah, man, 14 and a half.
Wow. Okay. Feels like
And
it's been longer than that. I don't know why.
unless there's an error here in the type.
I mean, we launched this season July 6th, ladies and gentlemen. July 6th was episode 1 of season 2.
Yeah.
And we've been at it for, I mean, that shakes out to be over 5 months. So we've talked through all sorts of stuff. Our first season, on the other hand, started February 16th and concluded, I think, May 13th, somewhere around there. 11, 12, or 13 of May.
Okay.
That shakes out to be 3 months. So season 1 was 3 months long. Season 2, you're welcome. It's been 5 months long. When we started, the NFL was ages away. I think hockey was still going on somehow. And now here we are.
Hockey's back. NFL's on. Hockey's back.
Hockey is back. NFL's in full swing. Baseball is long gone.
Yeah. We had 13 episodes in the first season. We're going to be having 15.
Is that including the trivia special?
It is.
Is it including the special episode with Mike about March Madness?
No, it's not. So that would have been 14.
So that gets us to 14.
And we'll be having one more episode this season than the last.
Right.
For an extra 3 months or
right.
2 months
so,
or whatever. But we took.
If you use that logic, that means we took breaks.
We took a few vacations.
We missed some weeks. Sorry about that, but it happens.
Sometimes you just are unable to.
Yeah, sometimes you are.
Right.
Like Ian, when you're working on a harvester and getting up at wee hours in the morning, that happens. So.
And when Ricky's going down to Boston last minute to watch the Red Sox.
Did we miss an episode because of that? We didn't miss an episode because of that.
Yeah, I think. Wait.
That was on a Wednesday.
That was on a Wednesday. It was because the Red Sox were playing on Monday, I think.
Yeah, it might have been that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's reasons, it happens. And sometimes we lose recordings. That's why we've been running the decimal point the whole season.
Yeah.
So
that was a great episode too. That would have been.
It was. I don't even remember what we talked about.
Me neither. But it was.
We'll never know.
It was a good one. It was a good one.
It was good. Too bad. But hey.
Yeah. It is what it is.
It is what it is, and here we are, 14th of November.
14 and a half episodes in. This is actually a Sunday night.
This is on a Sunday night, because tomorrow night, well, no, we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later.
During weekly recap segment, which I assume will be a little bit longer this week.
Yeah. There's really only the NFL to talk about, too, for just other sports stuff, I think, unless I'm not thinking of something.
Let's just go only NFL.
I can do that.
I'm fine with that. It might be a shorter episode, but I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with a shorter episode. And I mean, last week, I knew when we were talking about the NFL, we were forgetting about something.
I did too. Yeah, I had the same feeling.
I didn't know what it was, and it was probably the biggest thing we could have talked about.
I even wrote it down in my notes in the week leading up. I was like, okay, I got to write this down because I'm going to forget it. Didn't even just slipped my mind.
And unfortunately, it took a turn for the worse this week.
Yeah, it did. We kind of missed out on the opportunity.
Yeah, but we're still gonna backtrack a little bit, and we are going to talk about this person, this man, this almost legend.
He was for a little bit. He has the most unassuming name of any professional athlete, especially a quarterback.
Right.
I would say.
Yep.
But yeah, Ian, would you like to?
Well, yeah, probably.
Would you like to set it up?
I mean, first of all, he came in against the Patriots. I believe that was his first time you see him this season.
Yep.
Because Zach Wilson went down with an injury. The Patriots seem to want to hurt quarterbacks. It almost seems like every time they play, a quarterback gets hurt. Like Tua got hurt, Baker got hurt, Zach Wilson got hurt. I don't know who else. There's probably another one. But that's 3 of 6 games, right? Or more than 6. There's more than 6. 9 games.
I played 10 now.
10 now.
But
that's 3 of.
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't
Still.
a math podcast, by the way.
Let's see who goes.
So this man comes in, and at first, I mean, just by looking at how this guy looks and his name, you aren't thinking he's not really going to do anything. And this is the most generic name you've ever heard. I saw someone say, this is literally the third string quarterback they put on Madden just because, just to like fill spots on the roster. The fake people. Yeah. Like that's this guy's coming in. And the name, the legend, Mike White.
Mike White.
Mike White.
He's so close to Mark White. I wish his name was Mark because that'd just make the whole thing so much funnier.
It would.
But we'll just go with that. He's Mark White's nephew, I guess.
Sure.
We'll just go with that.
Yeah.
And most teams when they have a young rookie quarterback like the Jets do with Zach Wilson, they'll have a seasoned veteran behind him.
Right. Like a Joe Flacco.
Right, like a Joe Flacco who they did have last year.
And they have again.
And now they have again. Joe Flacco.
After the injury.
But no, they don't. In fact, they have a guy with even less experience than Zach Wilson had going into this game in question.
Mm-hmm.
Mike White had played. This was his fourth season. He came into the league in 2018, undrafted, I think.
Yeah.
And this is his fourth season, and this was the first time he had an in-game snap other than preseason. First time setting foot on a field. Not even in blowouts, not even to take a knee at the end of the game. Right. First time on the field. That first game against the Patriots, he threw a couple picks, right?
Yep, I think. I'm trying to look up.
He also threw a couple touchdowns, I think. And I was like, well, I mean, we saw Zach Wilson play in week 2. He was seeing ghosts. He threw 4 picks in that week. Zach Wilson did. We were like, well, probably a better option than Zach Wilson at this point is Mike White. And that was week 2 when the Patriots lost or beat them 54 to whatever it was. I forget what the final score was. Are you looking up his stats right now?
Yeah, I'm pulling up his stats real quick.
Yeah, and this was in week what was this week? 10, 9, 8. This was in week 7. The Patriots won 54-13.
Yep. He threw for 202 yards, one touchdown, and 2 interceptions.
Okay, there you go. And he looked a lot better than Zach Wilson did, I'll just tell you that much.
Yeah, he looked like...
And I was like, well, good for this kid. He's finally getting his opportunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
4 years in the league, undrafted. No one believed in him. Not a single person. I don't know how many other teams he had played for. Maybe just one. I don't remember the team. I should have looked it up beforehand. But moral of the story, no one believed in him. He's an outcast. Who evaluates talent and who says that Zach Wilson is better than this kid? And the very next week, he went off and proved everyone wrong that, those that do evaluate talent are just plain wrong sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he went for, if you want the stats,
go ahead.
405 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and the win against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes, and a huge upset.
Yeah, huge.
He's going off.
Mm-hmm.
He was going off. First person to ever throw for 400 yards in their first start in NFL history.
Yeah.
I think his jersey's in the Hall of Fame from that game now.
Should be.
Or something's in the Hall of Fame from him. No, it literally is.
It should be. No, it should be. He's a legend.
And next week against the Colts, I think it was, on Thursday Night Football, came out slinging it again.
Great start.
Slinging it around, looking great, and then has to leave because of a freaking finger injury.
Yep. He threw for only 95 yards and 1 touchdown. No interceptions.
Yeah, and that was very early on. He had that. Yeah, he had 95 yards.
Not at halftime.
Not even right.
It might have been first quarter. I mean.
Yeah, I think it was only the first quarter that he played in.
Yeah.
And that was too bad because I had a feeling the Jets were going to pull off an upset there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we were going to talk about him. This week would not have even been on our minds.
Right.
We were going to talk about him following that injury.
Mm-hmm.
And then this week, unfortunately, did not go as planned.
Not great.
Today. I mean, playing the Bills.
The best defense in the
team,
NFL.
But
right now.
Right. A good team. But Go ahead and read his stat line for this week.
251 yards, not terrible, but no touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a 33.4 passer rating.
Yikes.
I don't know what passer rating is that well, but I know 33 is not ideal.
Not good. So another moral of the story, and I was just watching NFL Primetime, and Booger McFarland, who has a ridiculous name, but he made a good point saying that's what happens when teams get film on you. And especially a good NFL defense like the Bills. 4 picks. I still think he's a better option than Zach Wilson, in my mind. I still think he is. And I just love underdogs, you know? I love guys that just come out of nowhere, undrafted, just like Taylor Heineke for the Washington football team. I'm a big Taylor Heineke fan.
Upset the Bucs today.
Yeah, he did. He showed out. And he showed out in their playoff game against the Bucs last year, having absolutely hardly any time to mentally prepare that, you know, a couple weeks ago he was on his couch and then all of a sudden he was starting a playoff game and he showed up big time in that game, flinging it around. Anyway, I love underdogs, underdog quarterbacks, because the pundits that predict talent, like in the draft and all that, are just plain wrong a lot of the times. Yeah. They're just plain wrong. Look at Tom Brady, pick 199, and then these other examples. I just want to see I always want to see those guys do well.
Yeah, it's always nice to see the underdog succeeding. Now, hopefully, I mean, I don't know if it'll happen because how much the Jets put into Zach Wilson with like the 3rd overall pick. So that after seeing
second overall,
after seeing Mike White's performance this week, when Zach Wilson's healthy, if Mike White doesn't do anything else, they might have to just go back to him just because.
Yeah, they're gonna have to.
They're gonna see if he can work out, unfortunately. But I think still, I mean, Mike White's coming off that injury and going against the best defense, like one of the best defenses in the league. So who knows?
Right.
Maybe he still has something in him, you know. Maybe it's.
I hope he gets a couple more starts so we can get more of a sample size.
Right.
But you know, I was all on the Mike White train. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I was 100% on the train.
I was.
We were going to talk about him last week with Jonah. We were going to, but
for some reason.
I mean, now we got to be more realistic, knowing he had a 4-pick game. So
might not see him too much longer.
Might not see. You know, it might be a flash in the pan. Never remember who this kid is, but it was a cool story.
We'll always remember that one game, that one upset.
The Bengals game, yeah, that was insane. It's a cool story while it lasted, I guess. But
it is.
Mike White, we gave you your airtime.
Yeah, he deserved it. And now someone who deserves some airtime. Jacoby Myers.
Yes, good segue. Yes, and that's a pun too, because there was some airtime.
Yeah.
On part of Jacoby Myers on his first NFL touchdown.
And he does hold the record for most receptions with 131 and most receiving yards with 1,511 without having a touchdown.
Is it most targets as well?
It probably is, yeah, probably.
Yeah, he was close to 200 targets.
Then I would say probably.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, he's been in the league. I think 2019 was the first year. He even played with Brady when Brady was on the Patriots.
Yeah.
Last year, our best receiver, hands down, our best receiver. Never got a touchdown.
Touchdown.
Never received. Right, he threw for 2.
Yeah.
Last year, threw for 2. Not rushing like an end around. No, threw for a couple. One including one to Cam Newton. But last year, not a lot of guys got touchdowns. Period. For the Patriots, just a handful of receivers did, and I think one was named Damiere Byrd. So that gives you an idea of what last year was like. But this year, 10 games in, Jacoby Myers has played in every single one. I think to still not get one, including in some games where we had blowouts.
Right.
Just it seemed like how long could this go on? And yeah, finally got his break because he had a couple. He had a couple that's gotten called back too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole Patriots team was like in the end zone basically.
Oh yeah.
Celebrating that.
including the offensive linemen. You never
Uh-huh.
see them run down.
Including
um,
defensive players.
right? Yes, and even Bill Belichick gave him a
That would be.
personal congratulations.
Imagine Bill Belichick running in the end zone. Pretty sure that's a flag, but
Who cares? If Bill Belichick ran to the end zone, I don't think that'll ever happen, but that would have been the time for it to happen.
Yeah. Actually seeing
Bill Belich
Belichick excited.
Belichick gets excited at the weirdest things. He really does.
Yeah.
One that comes to mind was when Doug Flutie. This was like Doug Flutie when he was in the league. So I think 15 years ago or something. It was like he was like 42 years old. Patriots had him on their depth chart. This was the end of the season. They weren't playing Brady because the game had no implications. And instead of kicking an extra point, Doug Flutie kicked a drop kick.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ball hit the ground, and a lot of people don't even know you could do that in football. The last time someone did a drop kick in an NFL game was like the 1940s or something, and Belichick had the biggest smile on his face when that happened. Than he did winning any Super Bowls. Like he gets so excited at the weirdest things, and I think having a weird nuance like the stat of Jacoby Myers never getting a touchdown would be one of those instances where Belichick just gets happy.
Yeah.
He gets happy.
Love to see Belichick happy. It's so rare.
You know that press conference where he talked about long snappers for like 30 minutes?
No, I don't.
That would have been that's another occasion. Well, some reporter brought up something about a long snapper, and Belichick launched off on this like 15-minute history of the long snapper.
Did he actually?
Yes.
Gonna have to watch that.
It's so fitting. It's so fitting. Belichick, man. Most interesting coach. Most
Great
interesting
coach.
man
And
in the world.
He loves just pounding the Jets too.
Yeah, he sticks it to the Jets.
Yeah.
I think the Jets. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe because he was a New York Giant. I don't know.
I don't
know.
Who knows what the history is, but maybe there must be something. They probably like drafted somebody that he like absolutely wanted right before him.
Yeah, maybe.
And so now he's just gonna make them pay for it every time they play.
Maybe. Maybe it's from the days when Rex Ryan was there and the Patriots and Jets had a real rivalry for like those 2 years with Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez, and the Jets were actually better than the Patriots. Maybe he's just getting back at that. I don't know.
Probably is. You never know with Belichick.
You never know.
There's always something with him.
Yeah. In Bill we trust.
Oh yeah. So
69. He's 69 years old and he's
still going.
Leading us to the playoffs.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. How the Patriots are the real deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not 15-2, but
right, which was your original prediction.
Which was a bit of a stretch. You had to be somewhat optimistic, but still, I mean, 13-4.
Really?
Still in play.
Think they're gonna win out? They're gonna win?
No.
They're gonna win out, Ian?
No, because they got a tough stretch coming up.
They do. The Titans and the Bills are on the schedule. Those are
they got
tough ones.
They have the Falcons next week, which is must win. You got to win that one, especially because then you play. Listen to this: you play the Titans, the Bills, the Colts, and then the Bills.
Ooh, yeah, that is tough.
That's very tough.
You got to win. You really got to beat the Falcons. Just win the games you should win, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're in. 10-7 is the worst we should do theoretically.
Right.
Right. And Jonah was crunching the numbers last week, saying if they won this week, they would have a 70% chance of getting in. And if they went and they lost those 3 games to the Bills and the Titans, they I think like a 99% chance. If they lost just those 3 and won the rest, like won the games they were supposed to, they're basically in.
Right.
So just win the games you can.
I mean, they got it. I mean, they're right in the mix for second place in the AFC too. It's gonna be tough to catch the Titans.
The AFC. There's so much parity in the AFC, especially. Like every team is like there's no one team that's surging ahead. Maybe the Titans now they're 8-2. They're the one team in the AFC, but like you look through the standings and it's pretty tight.
It is tight.
It really is. I mean, the The Ravens, you think they're a good team? They lost to Miami last week. They're 6-3. The Bills, they lost to the Jags the week before. They're 6-3. The West is just wide open.
The Steelers tied the Lions.
The Steelers tied the Lions, which I don't know if you got a chance to watch the end of that game, Ian.
Yeah, that was pathetic.
That's some of the worst football I've ever seen.
We can give them credit. It was raining or snowing or something, but
yeah, sure, whatever. I don't.
But it was not good football.
Honestly, I think our 7-on-7 game at the Rec a couple weeks ago, that honestly is probably close to as good quality football as what we saw at the end there.
Yeah.
That's just it's terrible.
Fumbles.
I felt like
stuff.
I felt like I was watching Maine high school 8-man football. Like it was pretty pathetic. Fumble, missed field goal. The kicker couldn't even get in the air.
Yeah. For the win too, the Lions could have won their first game of the season.
And of course, it happened to the Steelers because the Steelers really seem to be the only team that gets those breaks, like they did last week against the Bears.
Yeah.
The Steelers, of course, get the team that's 0-8 and about to beat them, but to have the kicker that can't even get it off the ground, and then they go and they have a chance to win it, and then they fumble with 8 seconds left.
Yeah.
That was pretty sad.
Yeah. He just had to get out of bounds, and they would have won the game, or just not fumbled, and they still would have won the game. But I guess I don't know. They could have.
So, Ian, you're getting back to the Patriots here. Your 15-2 prediction is obviously impossible now because we lost 4 games. But your other predictions we can bring up. One would be the Patriots hosting the AFC Championship game. And that doesn't mean they have to be the 1 seed.
Right. Just means they got to be.
But just means they got to win their division.
In the top half, I guess. Right.
Right. They got to win their division, be in the top 4, and everything else could fall into place. But the chances of us winning the division, I wouldn't say we're favored, but it's not that far-fetched.
I think it's possible.
It is.
It's possible.
It definitely is. It's a very real possibility at this point. If we play well against the Bills, anything can happen.
If you beat the Bills twice, I think it's almost guaranteed. But
it has to be, right?
I would say you got to get them once though.
Split.
Get them once at home.
Because if you lose twice to them, there's no chance.
Right. Just hope the Bills don't. Just hope the only loss for the Bills isn't the Patriots for the rest of the season.
Right. Hopefully they lose to some others. We need some help in that regard. But
right.
I mean, we're still. What's our record? We still got 7 games left on the schedule. So the Bills do have. I'm looking at their schedule. They have the Saints, the Buccaneers, and you could even throw the Panthers in there as a good team.
Your schedule looks pretty easy.
So the Bills could lose to the Saints or Bucks. They have to go to Tampa Bay and they go to New Orleans. So you never know with that. So that prediction could come true. That's still intact. And then your other prediction was
Mac Jones.
Rookie of the year.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
You don't, because I'm looking at the odds right now. And I don't know betting odds. I don't know what the numbers mean.
Set at?
I'm gonna be honest. Jamar Chase is listed at -145, so that means he's the favorite, right?
Yeah, so that means if you were to bet $145, you'd win $100.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And next to him is Mac Jones plus 325. So if you bet 100, you would win 325.
Yeah. So
okay,
that's a pretty big gap, I think.
And after him, we got. Oh, if you think that's a big gap, the rest that are listed are just crazy. You got Kyle Pitts plus 3250.
Oh yeah, so it's just
Najee Harris plus 1,000, and then Trevor Lawrence plus 3750. So it's basically Jamar Chase.
Najee Harris should probably be up there a little higher, I think, on the list, huh?
Well, that's this week. That's what they're saying. Najee Harris, and who was it that just skyrocketed here? I'm looking. It's like a line graph I'm looking at. No, it's been Jamar Chase all along. And Mac Jones has been in second place. He's in second place. So that you don't know. We don't know. If Mac Jones continues to play this solid and Jamar Chase falls off, right, I think you have to give it to him for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
So
I also feel like they like to hand awards out to quarterbacks more than other positions
true.
if there's the
That's
option.
true.
So
Yep.
we'll see
I'd
how it
say
goes.
if Mac Jones leads us to the playoffs, it'd be a crime not to talk about it. It would be.
Yeah.
It'd be a crime not to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, Ian, your 15-2 prediction, which was just ridiculously bold.
Yeah, we could all admit that was unrealistic.
As well as hosting the AFC Championship, but hosting the AFC Championship and the Rookie of the Year thing, not entirely out of the picture. So,
Not yet.
Ian's predictions, famously, he did made a whole TikTok on our sports podcast TikTok about what times when Ian was right, and he used the March Madness Oral Roberts as an example. You've been wrong before, but these could be right.
Right.
So
we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I might be. Maybe I'll have another big prediction coming soon.
Really?
Well, it would have to be coming. It would have to be coming this week, I would say.
Right. This is our last episode.
This is my last chance to drop a prediction. So.
What is the prediction?
Well, there's nothing brewing.
Is it NFL prediction or is it a?
There's nothing brewing.
Something we. What do you mean? There's nothing brewing.
There's nothing brewing.
Is that code for something?
No, it just means nothing's happening in my head right now.
So you're not gonna make a prediction.
Unless something happens.
About anything. Okay.
Right. My head tends to be empty until a good prediction comes along.
Am I missing something here?
No.
Actually, I'm overthinking it. I am missing something.
You might be.
Does this have to do?
You might not be overthinking it though.
Does this have to do with a weekly recap segment? Something in there that we will talk about?
No.
It doesn't have to do with your hockey league?
No.
Okay. All right. That was my only guess, so. Are we done with the NFL?
I don't think so.
We aren't.
I definitely think I had something else to talk about, but yet again, you can believe it, I forgot.
Should write it down.
Yeah, I'll write it down next time.
Well, I mean, might not be next time for this season.
For this season, no. For this season, this is it. There's definitely something about the NFL I had to talk about. This is unfortunate. The Rams signed Odell Beckham Jr. That's not it. I almost forgot about that one though.
To say the time period from when Odell cleared waivers to when he was signed by the Rams a couple days later, however many days, I think he was cleared on Monday and he was signed on Thursday. Was a roller coaster of emotions, I would say. Joan and I were texting back and forth pretty much not all day, but off and on all day about little updates. We were following some really here's a lesson for you guys. Don't follow really shady sports reporters on Twitter and then take what they say as truth, because we were following. I'm not going to throw his ad in there, but
well, you might as well.
Yeah, I won't. But we were following this guy. He's not verified. He's got like 5,000 followers on Twitter. Not verified.
Yeah.
And he had been right about a couple things.
Is it the Patriots guy?
No, it's not the Patriots. No, because the Patriots guy we were following was verified. But he would come out with super detailed reports. Like Bill Belichick and N'Keal Harry sat down this morning and had a heart-to-heart about N'Keal Harry's role in the offense, which would speculate is why the Patriots are no longer in the running. This was after they came out that Odell had narrowed down to 3 options, which were, I think, the Chiefs, the Saints, and the Packers were his 3 options that ESPN reported.
Yeah.
And so he came up with this tweet. We're like, okay, this seems really oddly specific. And then slowly it started coming back like, okay, the Patriots still have a chance. And he reported Patriots camp is trying so hard talking to Odell Beckham's camp. And then it was like when Cam Newton got signed, Patriots cleared up $1.5 million in cap space.
That's what it was. Yep.
That's what was.
That's what I had to talk about.
Oh, it was. Okay. Sorry. Well, I'm glad we
keep going.
remembered. Anyway, and he was like, well, the Patriots are definitely in the running. This helps them a deal could come soon, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he signs with the Rams.
Yeah.
And then this guy on Twitter, this reporter is, uh, he comes out. Rams made a late push in the sweepstakes for Odell Beckham Jr. Patriots pulled out or something, and it was like, just don't listen to people on Twitter who aren't verified. That's your lesson, because that's where Jonah and I were getting our information. There were people in his replies on some of his tweets saying that they know a friend that works at an airport in Boston, not Logan, but a different airport, that saw Odell fly in or something, and we were like, okay, it's official, he's coming to New England. But it was a roller coaster of emotion, Odell signing. It definitely was.
Was that did you see the classic picture in the replies of some guy just at the airport, and then someone saying, even if it doesn't look like I'm saying, spotted at Logan Airport, Odell Beckham Jr. It's the same picture every time. Every time someone's been like questioned about coming to Boston or something, that someone will reply with that same picture saying, even if it's like, yeah.
No, I haven't seen that.
You haven't? I see it every time, man. Every time.
That's funny. No, I didn't see that, but yeah. Don't try to get your information. Just wait for the official. Just wait for Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport or Woj or whatever his name is from the NBA. Yeah. Just wait for those guys to come out with it, because they're the professionals.
Yeah, they're the guys who pay for it or something.
Right, they're the guys who have real insider information.
Yeah,
not these sleazy Twitter pages that make stuff up.
Maybe that's what we should do. We should just save up a bunch of money and
we should start.
Pay people to tell us where people are signing. And be the first ones. But Cam Newton,
that'd be funny. Yes,
he had, I don't know how many snaps he played total, but I know he definitely played 2 snaps and he got 2 touchdowns. He threw
for 1 and he rushed for 1.
Yeah, first play he was in, he rushed for a touchdown. It looked like he bobbled the snap a little bit, ran out to the right, stiff armed someone, and then got in the end zone, took off his helmet, took a 15-yard penalty, and yelled "I'm back" a few times.
Yeah, I'm happy for Cam. I will say, I'm happy. I'm happy that he's happy.
Yeah, sure. Good for him.
Yeah, and I hope he becomes a starter for them. I don't think they're going to want PJ Walker for much longer if they have Cam Newton on there.
I'd say next week.
Their depth chart. I would say so too.
If they,
hopefully he starts more games.
Yeah, but he's back though. He's back in the NFL, back in the saddle. There, I think that wrapped up anything I had
back
to say
in the saddle
about the NFL.
Yeah. I think so. I think we move on to weekly recap.
Okay, you want to start with trivia? I have one.
Oh, okay. Yes.
All right.
You have trivia?
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna have to do with weekly recap, I think. All right, go ahead.
No, unfortunately not. What's the largest comeback in NFL postseason history?
I know the answer.
Okay.
It is not Super Bowl 51. Correct. I believe that's the second largest. It was the 1992 wild card game between the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Oilers.
Yeah.
And it was Frank Reich, not Jim Kelly. Frank Reich, the backup for Buffalo, led a 32-point comeback. They were down 35-3 in the third quarter.
Yep.
Came back and won.
That's correct.
Ricky. Biggest comeback ever. And that was in, I think, regular season 2 included.
Oh, was it? I
think so.
I know it's the largest in the postseason. Probably the largest just in general. Probably the largest.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
But is it more impressive than Super Bowl 51?
No.
I don't think so either.
Really? It might be.
No, I don't.
It might be.
I don't think so either, because they had more time. They were 35-3 shortly after halftime, I think. And they had more time. Patriots did it basically all in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that is true. And it was on the bigger stage.
And it was Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It was in the Super Bowl, so,
Right. Were the Bills home for that game too? Do you know?
They were.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, they were home.
Patriots were at neutral site, so a little harder.
I don't know. But that is a good trivia question, because you'd think Super Bowl 51, right? Because it was 25 points, which is an enormous comeback. That doesn't happen even in the regular season. But
exactly.
Yeah.
It's probably because
32 points.
It probably doesn't happen in the regular season because teams don't care enough in the regular season.
That's true. That's a good point.
Right. They know that if they lose here, they're done. So.
Yeah.
Do you have one?
I don't. I didn't have one prepared. Let me look at my notes. See.
All right.
Most of my stored up ones are baseball because I would come up with them this summer.
Oh, I'll take a baseball.
I was gonna try to stay on the theme, but
I'll switch the theme up a little bit right now while you look for that, and I'll just say, Ricky, we all know that you're a Montreal Canadiens fan.
yeah, are they winning still? It's 2-1. I thought
That's wrong. They're tied 2-2.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bruins and Canadians are playing this evening.
The Canadiens.
Yeah. Montreal.
Les Habitants.
Sure.
No, I don't. I used all of these now. I don't have any stored up.
Okay. Well, I got another one for you then. Don't ask me one. I'll ask you
Okay.
one.
All right. I'll get you one. Get you one. Go ahead.
What is icing? Not the stuff that goes on cake. In hockey.
You're gonna do this to me? Really?
Yeah.
You only know this because didn't I say to your face that I couldn't explain the rule of icing?
Yeah.
Man, that's kind of low of you. I don't have the answer.
All right.
But I deserve to be humbled.
So I'm gonna do it very. I'll explain it very simply for you, Ricky.
No, I'll give an answer. I'll try.
Okay,
I'll try.
Okay. Sounds good.
I know what it is when I see it.
Okay.
All right. It's when the defensive team, when teams are full strength or even strength, right? Not when they're on a power play. Yeah, there's no icing when you're shorthanded.
Even strength, or if you're up a man.
If you're up, yeah, right. You can't ice the puck when you're shorthanded.
You can ice, right? You can ice it when you're shorthanded.
Right, you can, but there won't be. Yes, that's what I mean.
There's no call.
You can't get called for icing. Yes.
Yeah.
And it is when you throw the puck to the other end of the ice, crossing both blue lines, right?
That's incorrect.
Or is it blue line and goal line?
It's from behind the red line. If you're behind the red line, center line, and it goes, so it crosses the red, blue, and red.
Oh, it's only the center line.
Yeah.
I thought it had to go to the other end, all the way to the other end.
Huh?
I thought it had to go
No, okay, so say you're behind defense. Say you're on defense,
right?
And you skate up past the blue, your defensive blue line, and then you shoot it down the ice, and it crosses the red line, the other blue line, and then the goal line. That's icing.
And then your opponent's red line.
Yeah, your opponent's red line. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The goal line.
Okay, so if you're in your own zone, which is your blue line.
3-2, Ricky.
Dang it. So if you're in your own zone, Ian, right? Your blue line.
Yeah.
To the end.
Yep.
If you're in your own zone and you hit the puck, whatever it is, and it crosses your opponent's red line.
No, the center. Wait.
Center line, opponent's blue line, opponent's red line.
Right, the goal line is called the opponent's red line is
the goal line. Red
yeah.
line, center line, right? Yes.
The red line. We'll call that the center line. Yeah. So if you shoot it from behind the center line, down the ice, down, so it crosses just from your defensive end to your
anywhere in your
end.
defensive zone.
Right. Just as long as you're behind the center line.
And it has to go to the goal line.
Right.
It has to pass the goal line. Okay.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's as soon as the goalie touches it, they'll blow it dead, or as soon as any player.
If the goalie touches it, it's live. So
that's right.
And that's in the NHL and other leagues. Just if it crosses it, they call it right away. But in the NHL, you have to. They used to be the first one to the puck, I think. But then that was pretty dangerous, I guess. Probably a lot of injuries or something. So they did first one to the hash mark on the circle, on the little circles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
that. Thank you. Now I think I have a better understanding of what icing is. I think now I could explain it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that piggybacks into weekly recap, doesn't it?
Sure.
Yes, it does.
Sure.
We announced last week that Ian was playing in the Gentlemen's Hockey League.
Oh yeah. Forgot.
The pig HL. Oh yeah. What do you mean?
I forgot.
Yeah, right. You forgot. Ian, why don't you just go ahead and tell us how your first game went?
Well, let's see.
Hang on. Before you start, I'm gonna give the betting lines that you gave
Yeah.
me and Frank before the game.
Yep.
So those were total number of goals, 0.5, right?
Yep.
And I took the under.
Yep.
Total number of points, and that was 1, right?
Yep.
And I took the under. Total number of shots on goal.
Yep.
What was that? 3.5?
I think it was at 2.5.
Or 2.5, and I took the under.
Yeah.
And total number of penalties 1, and I took the over, or 0.5, whatever it was.
It was just 2 minutes, over under 2 minutes.
It was minutes. Okay. Yeah. And I took the over. That would mean you'd have to get 2 separate penalties.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I shouldn't have taken the over. Anyway, you said you were just asking for motivation.
Yeah.
And so let us know how those betting lines shook up.
Well, Frank nailed it. Frank would be a millionaire right now if there was any money bet
There's
on it.
a parlay.
And you would have been providing some of that money for him, Ricky.
I would have been broke. I would have been cleaned out.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I lost every bet.
You took all the...
And Frank won everyone.
Yes, because Ian finished with 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points, and I think 3 shots. Maybe 4.
Yeah.
3 or 4, probably 3, I think.
You were just barely over it.
Yeah.
So I think it was just 3.
I just cleared all of them, actually. just cleared them. And yeah, man. Yeah, well, I mean, I arrived. I was hoping, like, on our team, there's like 14 guys or something. So I knew I'd be the worst guy on the team. So I was hoping to get a little bit of ice time. It turned out only like 10 guys showed up, 11 counting the goalies. So I was right in the thick of it all game long, and I was just in the right place at the right time a couple times, I think.
You held your own out there. You really did. We said at the beginning when you skated out for warm-ups, we said if nothing else, Ian looks the part.
Yeah.
He really looked like you had. It didn't look like you hadn't played hockey in 6 years or however long it's been, 7 years.
Right.
But you looked great out there. You really did.
And I think I think something that helped was me and former guest on the podcast, Dakota. We had a little talk before and decided to go with the visor instead of the cage on the helmet, just because.
Oh, really? Dakota was part of that decision?
Yeah. Yeah. because it looks better, and you got to look good to play.
It does. Yeah.
And you can see better too.
You do.
You can see better. And you can have easier access to your mouth, which could be unfortunate in a game. That's the only downfall to the visor. That was the only reason keeping me from maybe not wearing it, was catching something up high.
Yeah.
Like a stick or a puck. But it's not like anything's really moving quick enough.
I was just about to say, having seen that game, there's not really much. It's pretty slow paced.
Yeah.
So I don't think you need the cage.
No.
I'll just say that. I'll just put it nicely.
Yeah. Just keep my head up. Don't. If someone's shooting the puck like a slap shot from the blue line, I shouldn't lay down to block it. Try to block it. Maybe I'll see where it's going before I think about anything like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So take us through the highlight of the game, which would be your goal.
I wouldn't say that was the highlight of the game. I would say the highlight of the game was our goalie.
Okay, your personal highlight.
Yeah, it would probably be the goal.
Yeah, so take us through that moment.
All I remember, I think it was 2-on-1 or like something like that, and so I just went weak side, right, like a normal person would. And my teammate, unfortunately, don't know his name. He mostly did all the work. He put the puck right on my stick, basically right in front of the goal. I don't even know if I had to move my stick to have the puck on the net. So
it was. I'm telling you, you guys scored 5 goals that night. A lot of were due to. You scored 6?
I thought it was
5. But most were due to not your own doing. I'll just say that. But this goal was very pretty.
I will say
it was very pretty. It was the prettiest one of the bunch.
Well, thanks. Thanks to my team.
I think I saw every other goal, so I have reason to say that it was the prettiest one. But so you don't know who it was that made the assist?
No, I don't remember his name.
Do you remember his number?
No.
Dang it.
You could just, if you go on the site, you could look at the assists, and I could probably tell you then.
Oh, that's true. I'm gonna do that right now, actually, because I'm just gonna announce it now that Frank and I, it is our intention that we broadcast some of these games on Twitch, on my Twitch page.
I think you should. I think you should make your Twitch channel name like Google Broadcasting or something like that. Something
more,
lines.
yeah, something less. I play Minecraft and I'm a freshman in high school.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of was the feel before I revamped it, which I did a little bit. I cleaned it up. Got those old streams down of when I was a squeaker.
Oh, I wish that didn't happen.
So let me go. So anyway, as I was saying, it's our intention that we broadcast these games. Of course, the first night we had no numbers. I knew most of the guys, the names of the guys on your team, but we had no numbers to go off of. So there's no way we could have done it. I didn't even have the equipment to do it that first night, and we wanted to feel it out. Hopefully in the future we will be able to, but I wish I'd have been on the call for your goal. Yeah. Because I was going to go ahead and make up my call right here, right now on the podcast of what it would have been. But I don't have the name of the guy that made the assist.
You don't?
So...
Are you on the site?
I am. Assists. Colby Bonville had one.
Not him.
You had one. You had 2 points, really. That's right.
Yeah.
And Matt Talbot had one.
No.
It wasn't Matt, so it had to have been Colby Bonville because no one else had any others.
I don't think it was any of them. Unless
well, then they didn't.
Maybe I went because I know Matt was playing defense. I thought it was mine.
All right.
I thought it was a guy playing offense with me. Maybe it was Matt then. I'm not sure.
We're just gonna say it was Matt.
You're just gonna go with Matt. Okay.
You can put. This might not be great. I don't do hockey, but I'm gonna try. You can put sound effects over, like a goal horn, maybe some crowd noise after. You can put this in the preview again. But
if you want, yeah.
So here we go. I'm not gonna look at you because it's gonna be awkward. Skating in transition in the zone. The Seabass threatening now down behind the boards. Talbot knocks it back out in the crease. Shot score in the show. That's what my call would have been because I was, as you can remember, Ian, we were ecstatic.
Right, yeah.
Were we not? Everyone
was. The only people who weren't were the other team, I think. They still had to feel a little good about it though, I think though, too.
But you heard Chris, Frank, and I, right?
Yeah, I heard you guys yelling
from the ice.
I don't know what you were saying, but
I said I should have took the over. That's what I said. But we were freaking out because we didn't think. You said beforehand you were only looking for one goal the whole season.
Yeah.
And you met that quota on the first night, so we were pretty hyped.
Right.
But that's what the call would have been. That's what it would have been.
Would have been good.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been a good call, Ricky.
Thank you.
Would have been a great call.
Thank you. I can't wait to get to do it live now.
Hopefully I can provide a goal for you then when you get on the.
I hope so.
Get on the camera. Oh, and tomorrow we'll have a game tomorrow night, so unfortunately you'll have to wait. A week.
I don't think I can make tomorrow night. So
right. So you have to wait a week for the
recap
of that.
I don't have
because we're gonna be.
Why? Oh, because we're trivia special. Yeah. That's right. I don't have the equipment to do it anyway. Yet, I'm still waiting on a part. So
okay. Well, I mean, I think that's all for hockey. For the hockey.
Yes, I'd say that wraps it up. We covered that well.
Yeah.
Anything else happen this week? Should we talk fantasy football? Were you intending to do that?
Well, we can take a quick peek because I know Frank was really threatening Grant, but I saw it was starting to go downhill. I saw it was starting to go downhill.
Grant, who cites bad luck, was saying he was going to finally lose this week.
It's the second quarter. It's before halftime. 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Grant's done. All Frank has left is Travis Kelce. And Travis Kelce's
You
currently
better
at
hope
13.8 points. He needs him to get 6 more points, and he'll beat. He needs him to get a touchdown.
Wow.
If Kelce gets a touchdown this evening, Grant will be defeated for the first time.
It gives him a 76% chance of winning. So Frank is going to want vintage Kelce here.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look good for me right now. I'm just giving a 39% chance of winning. But it did help that Jason, I'm playing Jason, his quarterback, Russell Wilson, had only 5.6 points.
Right.
So that helped. But I just need Matthew Stafford to go off, and hopefully I'll win my 5th in a row. But Ian, how are you doing? How's it shaking out for you? Are you?
I'm at.
Yes, you're gonna win. No, you're not.
Well, he's got Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel still.
Yeah, he does.
Which are 2 good receivers.
But you never know.
You do never.
They could have a dud. They could have a dud of a night, and that's it.
Right.
So this is just going off projections. You put up a lot of points, 140 points.
Yeah.
That's enough to get a win normally.
Could have done more. But misplayed slightly. My bench had some good points, so could have done slightly better. Also, they made like an error, and Tyler Bass had like 15 points earlier. Now he only has 9 because they said he kicked like a 72-yard field goal, and I don't think they ever changed it until just now.
A 72-yarder.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
That's funny.
So I just lost like 6 points. I was at 146. I'm at 140 now. Which, could you imagine if that happened like after all the games were done for the week, like Monday night?
That'd be crazy. That'd be so heartbreaking.
It would. Losing 6
That'd
points.
be just as heartbreaking as a quarterback taking a kneel and losing half a point and then losing because of that.
Yeah. Anytime you lose points, it's bad.
In other stories related to fantasy, the battle for last place, which is a very interesting matchup. We had Mike Boone versus Will Bridges this week. 2-7 teams, and I'd say there's one other 2-7 team, Frank Nunez, but there's quite a gap between those two and Frank.
Right.
So this was really, the winner of this is looking pretty good for escaping the Blazing Challenge. And the update I have for you is right now, Mike Boone 114 points, Will just 46. Will has 3 players yet to play, 5 players that haven't finished yet, but is only given a 27% chance of winning. So it's looking like Mike is going to get his 3rd win, and Will be staring some really hot buffalo wings in the face here. It'd be a tough hole to climb out of. But we do have a decision to make, right?
Yeah, if we're going to do it.
As to how we're going to decide it.
Is it going to be the loser's bracket? Whoever just loses the most games in the loser's bracket, or is it going to be loser of the regular season?
Yeah, is it going to be who finishes last place in the consolation or who finishes last place regular season?
Right.
Because we do have a consolation bracket set up.
Mm-hmm.
So if that were the case, really nothing in the regular season truly matters.
Right.
What only matters is that consolation. So if Will loses, he would still have a chance to beat Mike in the consolation. That'd be it.
Exactly.
So
it's going to be something
intriguing stuff
we got to vote on. And also, I was looking, the dumber division is going to potentially, when I was looking earlier, it was starting to shape out like they would have a 4-way tie for first place at 5-5.
Wait, are they all going to lose? The 5 and 4 teams?
Well,
a couple of them, and then the 4 and 5.
If Melanson can put up enough points to beat me, but last I checked, Dakota was going to lose, and the other 2 guys were going to win.
So the dumber division really is dumber.
Unfortunately,
and I mean that in the most respectful way possible.
Well, are they dumber or are they better? Because maybe they just keep beating each other. They just keep.
It's more. Yeah, I don't know.
It's tough.
If you look at their points for Mike and Dakota, both 1,100, and that puts them ahead of everyone but Grant in the entire league. So, and then Gabe and Jason both with 1,000, and Gabe's ahead of me in points scored, and Gabe's 4 and 5. So, And Frank with 1,037, just barely behind me, and he's 2-7, and I'm 7-2.
They might be
So
the
dumber
better division.
They might be the better division, but they
they can't get the wins though.
No, they can't. 5-4, 5-4, 4-5, 4-5, and 2-7 is that division.
And it could shape out to be 5-5s and 3-7.
I would love to see that chaos.
I'd love to see that also, because if that happens, it's gonna take away the points scored will be a factor, but it's also gonna come down to who wins too. So even if you aren't, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So like
that's good. I like that.
If you have like the team that has scored the most points in the division, and they just have like a bad week or two, and they still lead, but they lost those 2 games, they're gonna be out of it. You know what I mean? They're gonna be out of the playoffs. So who knows? Could be interesting finish shaping out in the dumber division.
How many regular season games are there? 13.
I'm not sure. It's wrapping up very quickly.
Or is it 14? Schedule and playoff bracket. Let's look at it. 14 games, and the playoff bracket must last 4 weeks.
3 weeks.
No, because we have 18. There's 18 weeks this year.
No, yeah, only 3 weeks. We canceled, take out week 18 because players tend to get benched for resting.
Yeah, you're right.
So to make it as fair as possible for everyone, you do it the week before. But I've seen
go ahead.
Some leagues must have forgotten that it's 18-week season because 18-week season because they start at week 14, which is a bye week, which is like the same thing as playing in week 18 or playing that last week. So because you know what I mean, because players are gonna miss. More players are gonna miss that game than.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably a week 18 game.
So if the season were to end today, I'm trying to figure out this format we got. There's not like each division will have its own bracket and then the winners will meet up. It's not like that,
right.
But it is seeded like that. So 1 seed, Grant, R2 beat you, is the 1 seed if the season were to end today, and to end today. And number 2 seed is Mike Melanson at 5-4, which kind of surprised me. I would think that I'd be the 2 seed if we were going strictly by record, but we're not.
Right.
And then the 3 seed would be me at 7-2. The 4 seed would be Dakota. The 5 seed would be you, Ian, and the 6 seed would be Gabe.
So I think it probably.
So I'm not sure what's going on there.
I think the winners of the divisions get the top seeds, and then everything else is based off best record.
Okay.
So
yeah, that must be everything else after that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you win your division, you get a bye. Basically.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. Which kind of sucks. Is it 2 week matchups in the play? It must just be one.
Just one, yeah. Just one.
Yeah, because I've played leagues where it's 2 week playoff.
Yeah, I prefer one. You should
battles. One is better, I think.
I think you shouldn't. If you're doing it all season, you shouldn't change it for the postseason.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that should be interesting. It's getting more interesting as we go on.
Mm-hmm. It is.
We'll see if Grant can remain undefeated, but going 9-0 is kind of crazy.
Hey, Steelers did it, right?
I went right. Steelers went 11-0, and they weren't good. So I went 2 years ago, playing in a school league with a lot of my friends from school. I went 9-0. I started the season 9-0.
Yeah.
This was 2019 season. I did not win a single week after that.
Ooh.
I finished, I think 9. I limped my way into the playoffs, 9-5, and first round exit.
Wow.
So
that's bad.
I'm not saying that's going to happen to Grant, but I'm just saying it could happen because that's fantasy.
Crazy things can happen.
It really can. It could go south in a hurry.
Because
players could just stop producing, get injured, whatever. Like my offenses change.
My team's been pretty banged up all season. I haven't been able to have any real depth or anything to try to trade for anyone, just because I have to store extra people for like injury reasons and purposes. So, I mean, but my guys are starting to come back. So, I mean, it could be time my team.
It's just about who's trending upwards during the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like anything else.
Exactly.
Just who's the best team in the playoffs.
That's all that really matters. If you just got to get in.
Yep.
You just got to
get there.
Yep.
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 I'm looking forward to making the playoffs this year. I got a 99% chance of making it, so I think I'm in.
I think you're probably mathematically in.
I think I'm mathematically in.
Yeah.
Last year, heartbreakingly didn't make it because of Grant.
Oh, right.
Courtesy of Grant. Courtesy of me, but also very much so courtesy of Grant.
Yeah.
So we've already talked about that. We won't get into that, but that I think that's all we can talk about fantasy wise so far.
Yep. I think that is.
For Saturday, Sunday football, nothing really insane happened the last couple of weeks, right?
No, just the best defensive game we've had last week.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
I think.
Tied at 4 at the half, which may seem
single digits,
like a lot better. What's that?
Single digit total, right? For like
I think we tied, not including overtime.
Right.
Yeah, I think we were at like 8-8 or 9-9 going in to overtime. And Team Umpy finally was able to get over the hump there and get a win.
They pulled through
in overtime after losing in overtime the week before. Yeah. So
overtime is always fun, and it's always a lock. It's been a lock lately.
No, it hasn't been. No. Sunday football is always fun, and I like it when it's evenly matched. And as you can tell, we're having some fun.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
And the next big thing is the snow. I think when the snow comes, the game changes when the snow comes.
Yeah, you can't move as quick or turn as quick or do anything.
But really. You can lay out for stuff.
Yeah, you can.
So
yeah, you can.
Yeah, it is coming. It's actually going to snow tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Not that much, but
no,
it is coming.
It is. Is that all for the football?
I think so. It's all I got. Anything?
That might be all.
You got anything else?
Well, the Bruins beat the Canadiens, so
it ended already. The heck! I was gonna watch the end of that.
There's 2 minutes left, but it's 5-2. So.
Holy crap! How'd that happen?
I saw an empty net. Just scored.
So they gave up another and then pulled their goalie. Yeah. Carey Price has been out for the Canadiens, so they've not been playing well.
Yeah, that's not good. He's been a lock for that team. He's been a solid
difference maker,
solid goaltender for a while. More than solid. Well, I think that's it. Rick. You want to take us away?
I think that's it for this episode and in a way this season of a sports podcast. We'll have the trivia special for you, hopefully coming next week, maybe if not the week after. Great. And thank you guys for listening to this season of a sports podcast. Thanks for sticking with us through it all. We appreciate our listeners, and we'll see you guys later at the trivia finale.